So, recently I've been watching Transformers Armada because I found the whole series on YouTube, and I won't go into what I like about it here. There's another Armada review in the pipeline right now, so I'll probably go into my thoughts on the show then. But one thing the show did do for me was finally push me over to buying the Legacy Evolution Armada Universe Optimus Prime after many months of being on the fence about grabbing it. And I can thank Armada and a massive amount of peer pressure for this, because this thing looks and feels breathtaking. The plastic quality on the go here is immense, and the colours are really subdued but saturated and rich, and the glossy and metallic paintwork is applied beautifully. The sculpt is spot on too. He's amazingly accurate in robot mode, his proportions are on point, and he has just a splash of modern chug detail thrown in, particularly on the legs, which I quite enjoy. The head sculpt here is fantastic too. It's such a dynamic reimagining of the classic Optimus head, with the pronounced head crest and swept-back antenna. I really love the paint application on the head too. The eyes are a flat yellow, which helps them stand out brightly, and his face under the mouthplate being picked out in a slightly dark shade of blue paint is very nice. With the combination of the hip skirts, bruiser proportions, and angular anime head sculpt, this guy really makes me think of a medieval knight, much more so than Bay vs. Knight Prime. This version of Optimus just feels young and lively, like a kind-hearted bruiser more than anything else, and I love that vibe here. He does have some rather neat accessories here. He has a matrix stored in the chest, which is removable, but I don't give a shit because he can't hold it at all. I do give a shit, however, about his arm cannons. They're blast effect compatible and look great as part of the overall design. He also has this enormous ion cannon, which is stupidly disproportionate. I love it for it. These kinds of weapons are right up my alley, although I will admit it does work a little bit better in the super mode. His final accessory is this huge beefy trailer that works really well for what it does, but is definitely more relevant in the vehicle mode. But it does have a use in the robot mode, that being the base mode. And much like the Matrix, I couldn't care less because there is basically no interplay here. At least the turret's mobile, I suppose. The outright best use of this trailer is to easily and satisfyingly convert it into this pair of inconspicuous legs, which we will get to later because now we have to look at this figure's unfortunate fall behind posability. For the sake of the gimmicks, the movement of the base robot mode is a little limited, with some shoulders like Tarn or Rise of the Beast Optimus, but nowhere near as bad. Slightly limited but very nicely ratcheted legs, a genuinely good head, a nice set of double elbows, and even a ratcheted ab crunch. That is unfortunately at the cost of a waist swivel. It's a little strange to see a figure of this cost and scale go without such an important joint, but I'm not that broken up about it, because that means that the transformation to super mode is quick and hassle-free, leaving us with a gorgeous super robot that doesn't even look like two separate components. There are basically no notable seams or issues with the connection. It's so unbelievably solid and hefty that this has already surpassed 86 Magnus as my favourite commander. This thing is huge. So huge that I had to play with my setup to be able to take photos of the damn thing. The look is immaculate. Every little detail works its way into the aesthetic, and even the large backpack, which seems like it would be obtrusive, but in reality really assists the design with its sturdy appearance. The surface detailing is in abundance still, but it doesn't overwhelm the aesthetics of the figure, and the proportions are very nice. The ion cannon feels very right for this mode, and I wish there was an effect part for the maximum blast from the show, although I'm pretty sure that'd be impossible here. As for the arm cannons, they rest here, giving the iconic shoulder smokestacks, which is a nice touch. When I first got this guy in hand and realised how big he was, I was certain that he wouldn't pose well, and I was gleefully caught off guard by the way the super mode moves. Almost every joint is a satisfyingly tight ratchet joint that helps him hold all the poses you want, and the few joints that aren't ratcheted are really nice and tight.
Yeah, damn.
I know that some people take issue with the front hip skirt as it is attached above the waist swivel, but that can rotate to fill the look, so it's not as much of an issue as it could have been. The only issue with this guy for me has been the hands. They do open and close, which is nice, but they were a little loose for me out of the box. So I had a closer look, and in doing so, tore the palm of the hand in two. The hands had not been screwed together at all, and I needed to go in myself and screw them together, which was annoying, but now that that's sorted, everything is good and solid. Unfortunately, this isn't the only issue I've seen with this guy. When Kian got his, it came with a faulty shoulder ratchet out of the box, which is slightly concerning. However, after asking around, I haven't seen anyone else with these particular issues, so I think they can be taken as outliers. Separating this guy and converting him back to truck mode is a very swift and satisfying process. Just overall, every piece that moves here is a nice big chunk, and it's very refreshing a transformation compared to a lot of recent figures, and it all comes together into a very screen and toy accurate truck. This thing is a toy. It knows it. It is proud of it. There is no way this could be a real truck and trailer, and instead this is a completely fun-first joyride of a thing. It's so dense and heavy in this mode, and it's really satisfying to roll too, since the way all the wheels have been molded, they all feel ever so slightly rubbery, and they're thankfully all pinned. The hands from the super mode are clear as day on the truck bed, but that's fine since you can cover it up with the trailer, completing the look and tying everything together. It's just a fantastic looking thing, and it's so f***ing wide. No wonder half of his team in the show are crane trucks. He needs them all to drag out the traffic he runs into ditches by taking up the whole bloody road. The trailer can store the cannon in a couple of ways, either on top or out the front, which can lead to you stealing the fire effect from Chambolism's Transmetal Megatron so you have a flamethrower truck. Overall, this set is worth every penny of the retail price, and I'm so glad that I got one. It is so much fun, not just as a figure but also as a playset. Like, I genuinely don't think I've had this much fun with the gimmicks on a toy since like the 2012 LEGO Batcave. This is a figure that I recommend immensely highly. There are just no spots on this guy where I can find any major fault in it. As a solid figure and a fantastic representation of one of the best Optimus Prime designs ever, this thing just wins.